Put it up there.
No. Okay,
That's different.
that is different.
All right.
Dan,
The audience,
around.
participants, and general public should be aware that any or all portions of this open meeting may be recorded by audio and video resources. All or some of this meeting may be rebroadcast periodically by WRPS or other outlets. Persons wanting a DVD copy of this meeting should contact WRPS or the Board of Selectmen's office. Small fee will be charged. All right, since everybody knows, but we'll say it again. Voting members are myself, I'm Mike Corbett, John Lucas, Charlie Williams, James Wells, and Randy Hoblitzel. And we're all remote. Nobody is together, just so everybody's aware. And since everybody's different Randy's on the road, we just ask that everybody stays muted. We'll run to the board. If anybody has a comment, we'll ask the audience after the board has made their comments, and you can unmute yourself and just remute yourself afterwards. All right. The first thing we have on the agenda is to reappoint Charlie Williams as the planning board rep for the
Oh,
Prevention
yeah.
Act, if he was willing to accept.
I am willing to accept the planning board's
Okay.
position on the community preservation.
Because Charlie's been our rep for the last couple of years, so it'd be a good thing to keep it going. All right, so can I get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that Charlie be appointed.
Get a second?
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second on that. We'll go through it. John,
Yes,
James,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
all right, Charlie? Michael, I vote yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. All right, next on the agenda, we have some old business that was before us a few years back, the Monahan Ring Complex at 0 Delahunt Parkway for a minor modification.
It's Kevin Grady here representing the applicants for the request of the minor modification. We ready to go? Can I share the screen?
Yes, you can.
So the applicant's requesting a minor modification for the approval of the rink complex that was approved a few years ago. At that time, we had a conceptual architectural plan that we were working from. Since that time, the applicant has proceeded with construction phase type drawings, and there's been a couple of modifications to the architectural that actually affected the site plan. The plan you see in front of you here was the approved plan. The major change to the plan was this loading dock and also the shape of the building. There's still going to be 3 sheets of ice, locker rooms, the same amount of seats, restaurant. None of that's changed, but it's been reconfigured on the interior. This loading dock, the way it was set up, it's elevated 4 feet in the air, and you're back in your truck and you unload into a loading area. This side had a ramp, so you get Zambonis up into the ice level. The architects reconsidered that in their construction phase drawings and eliminated the loading dock. When they did that, it required that we raise the grade 4 feet. So based on the site layout, we thought it would work best for the site if we move the building 20 feet forward. And what that allowed us to do was increase the length between the rear of the building and this drainage basin and reduce the amount of walls and sloping that would have needed to take place in that shorter space. So it does slope to a couple of catch basins here. Another change in our overall floor plan, there's been an addition of some locker rooms in the rear here that originally weren't back there. It was all Zamboni area and maintenance rooms, et cetera, but they found some extra space here. So the addition of these parking spaces also helps access to the reconfigured interior. So here's a rendering of what the exterior is going to look like. Here are the 4 elevations, basically. Front, rear, left and right. And the floor plan. So let's see. This is the mezzanine plan or second floor. So there's some offices in the back that'll also, and some locker rooms that'll be accessed from the rear of the building. And bear with me, I'll go to the first floor real quick. So by putting this level, eliminating the loading dock and getting it level gives you access to the back slab. They were also able to add in some locker rooms, a goalie training area, etc. I'm going to go back to the main plan here. We retained the same amount of parking. We basically took a row from in front of the building and tucked it back here. We added a little bit of parking here because the building went, the configuration is more concentric or balanced. The old building was a little off center. So we eliminated the parking here, added it here and here. I redid the drainage to connect the structures, but the main drainage basins all stayed the same. There was no change to those. We basically just shifted the building forward and reconnected the plumbing in the front of the, we reconnected the plumbing for the facility. Let's see, we reduced the overall building from 99,752 to 94,750. So when we reconfigured it, they were a little more efficient with the square footage. So it's actually a reduction in the size of the building. And I guess that's it. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Okay. We did get something from Pat Brennan. He's unable to make it tonight, but
Okay.
he reviewed everything and he doesn't have any issue on the civil engineering side of things. And they are reducing the impervious area and not changing the size of the drainage infrastructure. So there'll be no adverse impact on the drainage. Building's just a little bit smaller and a little bit farther forward. So with that, I'll open it up. James, do you have anything?
No, I do not. Thank you.
All right, Charlie?
Even though I'm not representing the fire department in this meeting, I do have a question. Is that for path analysis current to the new plan?
Yes.
Okay.
There's plenty of room. There's 24-foot wide aisles, 30-foot radiuses. There's plenty of maneuvering here.
Okay. That looks good. I actually like it a little bit better than the other plan. I think it's much more balanced than it was before.
Okay, I'll go to John next.
No, I don't have any problems. I tend to agree with Charlie. I think it looks a little bit better, more balanced. I have no problems with it.
All right, Randy, you still with us? Do you have any questions?
I have no questions. I'm good.
Okay. Nope, I said I reviewed everything and I think it actually looks better on there being a little bit smaller. I can understand moving it forward for less impact and more area in the back. All right.
I'm just gonna get rid of that. Or does Kevin want to do it?
And we get rid of the share screen.
Yeah. Yes.
Way to let it go.
I was gonna say, I don't know, does anybody on the audience have any questions?
I do, Mr. Chairman. I don't know why I'm not on video. I'll try to get on it in a minute.
There we go.
Can we just get your name and address?
Yep, Mike Bromberg, 373 Forest Street. I'm just curious, if you move the building 20 feet to the east, are you going to be losing some parking spots there?
They're, as you said, they're actually taking the rows of parking that they're, so they still have enough frontage inside in front of the building, get the trucks through and putting it in the back of the building. So they're not losing any parking spaces.
That is correct.
Okay, so the pervious surface will be the same in the parking lots.
It probably technically might be a little bit smaller since the building has shrunk too,
Okay,
but it's pretty much the same. You know what I mean? It's a little bit smaller. I don't know if, I'm not the engineer. I don't know if the smaller calculations amounts to much, you know?
right.
We've reduced impervious coverage in the building square footage basically accounted for that.
So are the drainage calcs going to be different going into these detention basins now that you have some changes?
Only the structures, the analysis, we redid the analysis, and those drainage basins have not changed in shape. So there's less impervious going to the same BMPs. We just needed to, replumb it a bit with a couple of structures.
So will this go in front of the Conservation Commission?
There's no change in the limit of work or any conservation thresholds.
So just seems to me that this is a little bit more than a minor change, that a butter should have been probably notified. Things like that, when you're moving a building over 20 feet and you're changing parking areas and you're changing drainage. And I know the main detention areas are going to remain the same, but there's some differences here. So that's all I have.
Hey, thank you.
By the way, can you see me?
No,
Okay, thank you.
we would appreciate if people could turn their videos on when they speak, because if we were at town hall, everybody would be live and in person. Unfortunately, we can't do that yet.
There you are.
There we go. Now we see you. Does anybody else out there have any questions? Right, nobody's hitting up the chat function or anything.
No.
All right, how does the board feel? Anybody on the board have any more questions?
I don't. I think that, judging on Pat Brennan's recommendations. I mean, he is the subject matter expert in this, and I would agree with his assessment of it.
All
With
right,
that being said, Mike, I'll make a motion that we approve this.
we have a motion from John.
I'll second it.
We have a second from Charlie. All right. We'll go through and take a roll call and take a vote on that. We'll start with you, John,
Yes,
Charlie,
Yes,
James,
Yes.
Randy,
I think he's switching to like get into on the computer.
okay,
His phone isn't up there anymore.
who's not up there anymore.
No.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, it just was parking. Yes,
Okay, and I'm Michael. I vote yes. That is a vote. That's 5 in favor of the minor modifications.
Thanks for your time, everybody.
All right. Thank you. How are things going over there?
Good. Yeah, they're moving along, and no major issues that I'm aware of. Just hoping to move forward, keep on moving forward.
Right.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Mike, I just want to mention that Form A is new business, not old business.
Yes, I should have realized that when I was looking at it earlier, but. All right, let me make some noise and rustle some papers. All right, next on the agenda, we have some new business. We have a Form A from Stephen Delpreet at 268 Crockett Street, map 57, lot 11. All right. Steve, do you just want to tell us what you want to do here, just so everybody
Sure.
is on, that doesn't have a print in front of them, knows what's going on?
Okay. So on lot 57-11, originally it was my parents' property, and that property also went behind the next door neighbors of Christopher Hunt. That's shown on this map of 5711-1. What we're doing is we're going to cut that piece off and assign it to Michael Delpreet, the next neighbor beyond that property. So 5711 will have a borderline that will go from the street back to the back side of the property, straight back instead of a jog. So I believe it was around 9,000 square feet that was, 9,060 feet that were taken away from 5711, leaving you with 46,660 square feet in that lot.
So in lot 5711, you'll be left with how much?
44,660 square feet.
All right, you're adding it to what?
We're adding it to
5713.3.
yes, 5713.3.
All right, Randy, do you have any questions?
just give me 1 sec to look through it. Ask me at the end, please.
Okay, James,
Nothing right now. Thank you.
Charlie,
I am looking at it on Google Maps and reviewing the plot plan. Just give me 1 second.
all right, I'll jump to John.
no, I don't have any problems with it, Mike.
Okay. I have a question, Steve, that maybe you could answer.
Sure.
On the lot that's in between, is there just a garage on the property and no house?
No, there is a house there, but the surveyor decided that he wanted to show that garage there because it was close to the property line. But that was a identifier that
Okay.
he would have liked to just show. But there is a house there, basically. I don't know if it's attached to the garage or just real close to the garage. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's pre-existing, so. All right, Charlie, do you have any questions? Have you Googled it?
I'm sorry, did you?
Do you have any questions on?
He's muted.
He's muted again.
He's talking a lot, though. Hope he remembers what he said.
Sorry, I was pressing the space bar. I thought I was unmuted. So the question was, is there a planned use for the swap? What's the reason for the swap, just out of curiosity?
Well, we're selling 5711. And my brother has always lived next door, 2 houses down. And that property that was behind the house in the middle, he just wanted to extend his property because he's always been able to use it because it was my parents' home. So it was kind of a property that he's used, and he just wants to add it to his at this point that we're selling off the 5711.
Okay.
Randy, do you have any questions?
Oh, I'm good.
All right, does anybody in the audience have any questions? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion?
I'll move that we approve it.
I'll second.
All right, we have a first and a second. We'll go through it again. John,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes.
I'm Michael. I vote yes. All right. So everybody try to get there as soon as you can so we can sign off.
Okay. So
Mylar.
Christine, you'll contact me when we have signatures, hopefully tomorrow, if not Thursday.
Yes, we'll go for tomorrow. What day did you want to come down?
Well, I mean, I was hoping to come tomorrow, but I'm not sure if people are available in the morning or late afternoon, or what your timing is.
What do you guys think?
I'll be there in the afternoon. You're not open when I leave for work.
I'll catch you in the morning.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll just plan for Thursday, Christy, and if
Okay.
that works, that sounds like it will work better.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to drop off now. Thank you.
Okay. Write myself a note. All right, we have also some new business. We have a site and design review for Article 15 Brewery, 406 VFW Drive, map 20, lot 1.
Mike, I'm going to recuse myself from this, so I'm going to drop off. If you or Chrissy can let me know when you're through with these two, I'll get back on for the business end.
Okay, John.
Good evening. I'm Darren Grady. I'm here on behalf of the applicants. Would you like me to share my screen?
Yes, what's your name again?
My name's Darren Grady.
Darren?
Grady
Okay.
Consulting. I'm here with Joe Palucci from Patriots Athletic Club, and also Leo Reardon from Article 15 Brewery, as well as the landowners, the Tassonaries.
Okay, well, Matt, don't usually do this, but we'll do the same thing since it's a combined site. We're also opening up the site and design for Patriots Athletic Club, 406 VFW Drive, map 20, lot 1, same building, so they're sharing the building.
Can you see my screen?
Yes,
So the site is 406 VFW Drive. There's an existing building shown in the center of the site. This building used to be a gymnastics studio. We are proposing to make changes to the interior of the building for Article 15 Brewing Company, which would be on the left-hand side here, and Patriots Athletic Club on the right-hand side. There's a slight change in the access entrance where there was some pavement that went over the property line here. So we're narrowing the entrance and making this on its own property. The building is totally conforming as far as the zoning bylaw and setbacks. The zone is it's zoned in Industrial District I1, and it has 2.76 acres lot area. The building is serviced by sewer, gas, and water, all existing. We're not proposing any other proposed pavement, so the impervious area is basically staying the same or getting less with what we've done out front. For parking, let me step back. We've been to ZBA already, and we were approved for both sites. And as part of the approvals, we went through the parking count with them, and we came up with, for the brewing company, there's 62 spaces, 1 space per every 2 seats for 124 seats, plus 1 space per 2 employees with 10 employees. We added a space for a food truck, and we had 2 spaces for entertainment. The Patriots Athletic Club, we're having 1 space per 10 employees, 15 total. The total number of parking spots on the site is 100. As part of the zoning board approval, we're asked to put dedicated parking signs here. We're also reconfiguring the parking to add 2 additional handicap spots, one here to make it a total of 4. We also reviewed with the zoning board the existing conditions of a fence out back here. It was agreed that the applicants would approach and meet with the fence viewer for the town of Rockland and view the condition of this fence. Currently, it's proposed to be replaced with a vinyl fence, but this is to be confirmed with the fence viewer. In either case, there'll be a gate that will be reconstructed here and another 32 feet of fence here. The hours of operation were set also at the zoning board meeting. The brewery hours would be open, brewery operations will run 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's when they would process and make the beer. The brewery hours for sales would be open to the public Thursdays, 4 o'clock p.m. to 10 p.m. Fridays, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Saturdays, 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. Sundays, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. There's an outdoor portion of the brewery that is located here. It's called the beer garden. That would be closed by 8 p.m. But it's proposed to be open Thursday through Saturday at 6 p.m. There's a dumpster, existing dumpsters along the back. They're proposed to be moved and closed in this area here. It was agreed that there be no exterior entertainment on the site. And as far as the Patriots Athletic Club, the hours of operation for them are summer hours, Monday through Sunday, 9 to 5 p.m., and Monday through Sunday in the winter, 9 to 9 p.m. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Unless Leo or Joe, do you have anything else to add to that?
Nope, we're
That's annoying.
yeah, that's a no for me too. Sorry.
Um, All right, who do we have here? No, James, do you have any questions?
I was just wondering, I saw a loading dock there. Are you guys gonna be doing a lot of distributing? Like, will there be trucks coming in and out, or are you more focusing on the tap room?
So our loading dock is there isn't actually a loading dock. What you're seeing, I think on the plan right there is our beer garden. So the left side of that plan, there's a roll-up door.
Okay,
And that goes directly into the brewing space, which would be in the back area. So that's where we would be doing any types of deliveries or sending beer out of that location, which is limited to during those operational hours that were set by the zoning board.
okay. How many fermenters do you guys have back there? How big's the operation? I mean, I saw it, I looked, I don't remember off the top of my head. I have the plans there.
Yeah, no worries. So we have a 7-barrel system. So that's 3-barrel brew house. And then currently we have, let me think about the answers. It's going to be 6 fermenters at this point and 3 conditioning tanks that are in that location.
Cool, okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any more questions? James? No, you're good for now.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Randy,
What's the hours in the outdoor patio again?
So the outdoor patio area is limited to be operating. It basically mirrors our operations on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with the exception that on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we close at 8 p.m. And then on Sunday, because our hours are only 12 to 6 on Sundays, we'll be closing at 6 p.m. on Sundays in the outdoor area. That's just to be conscientious of the neighbors, just to make sure that there's no late night noise taking place in the back area.
Right, so the hours of operation is same, the indoor is the same as the outdoor, correct? With that,
No, sir. So the indoor space Thursday through Saturday is a later hours of operation. So Thursdays we run till 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday it's till 11 p.m. So it's a little bit later on those nights on the inside of the building.
okay. No,
Charlie?
Yes, so, Leo, are you gonna be doing entertainment, inside?
Yeah, yes, we are. So we have limited entertainment that we've done when we were in Weymouth. We typically have like smaller group acoustic type sets. So part of the stuff that we talked about with the zoning board was obviously noise issues and making sure that we're below an acceptable decibel level. But we don't typically have like amplified guitar type setups. So in terms of like that approach to things, there's very limited amplification. So you think about like a small box amp in front of someone that's singing with a microphone and, you know, et cetera, same sort of thing with limited guitar stuff. So not a ton.
Okay, perfect. And then the other question was on the parking that's, it looks like it's facing VFW Drive. That looked like, yeah, that right there, that looked, when I looked at the landscaping plan, it looks like that is going to be affected by that. Is that just the way that the plans are? I'm not seeing it correctly. Okay, all right, perfect. All right. No, I have no other questions. I think it's going to be a good addition.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we do have, couple of Form Ks here. We got back stuff from sewer for both places. We did not receive anything back from water, but water is on site. But I would assume they'd be sending something. We got something back from the fire department. They have no concerns with the plan submitted for 406 VFW Drive. The owner has installed both a fire alarm and sprinkler system. And the sweat pass analysis demonstrates that the ladder truck can access and maneuver throughout the parking lot. We do have some comments from Pat that he has reviewed this. The impervious surface on the site is not proposed to be increased. Therefore, the storm water runoff would not be increased. With that being said, those 13 parking spaces that you were adding in the front, are they going to be paved or is that going to be just gravel?
It's gonna be just gravel, pervious.
Okay. Good. It didn't say it on the print. That's why I was just wondering.
I had it on here. It's proposed 13 pervious overflow parking spaces. It was on sheet 3.
Okay. And the required parking spaces need to be clarified as well as the proposed use and number of seats. The site plan indicates 124 seats and 10 employees, yet the architectural plans and code compliance review indicate 100 seats and 4 employees. The site plan does not include any use of the mezzanine, but the code compliance review indicates that it would be marked as available space, retail space. So since we do not have any plans with the mezzanine in it, is the mezzanine proposed to be used for anything other than administration and storage?
So we have no plans to utilize that space.
No, you was out of 15.
The mezzanine wasn't reviewed by zoning board either, and is not part of this proposal right now. So it's storage.
Because is there anything to stop people from going up the stairs? Is there going to be a locked door at the top?
So there's a locked door on the brewery side. So the access point from our side of the building is actually locked with a keypad.
Because with the added space, if it became, it's going to be a condition that it can't be used, because you would not have enough parking on site.
We could live with that condition that it wouldn't be used, and we can accommodate that, whatever measures we need to do to make that happen.
Is there access from the mezzanine from both sides of that building? I don't remember.
There was, the mezzanine does access both Article 15 and Patriots Athletic Club.
Okay.
So it'll be locked from both sides?
The mezzanine would, we would have to block, we'd have to put something on the stairs, I think, going up on the Patriots side.
Yeah, because you have one spot, you have a set of stairs in the Article 15 Brewing Company, and you have another set of stairs. Are they going up or down from the vestibule coming into the building on the Patriots Athletic Club?
Hold on.
I may be able to interject on that, Darren.
Okay.
There was an original set of stairs from the Patriot side, which were removed. So there's no more direct up and down access from the middle of the building. There's a means of egress on the upper part of the building that goes straight out to the rear, which that door will always remain locked. And then in the front of the building, there's an existing set of stairs to enter the front to go upstairs, but we can make it so that there's not public entry into that very easily, and we don't have a problem doing that.
All right, and you know, everything, I'm just gonna read Pat's comments because these are what we pay him for. In addition to the question about the required parking, the site plan indicates that 12 of the parking spaces will be compact spaces equal to 28%. However, all except 4 paved spaces will be compact spaces as they are only 9 feet wide. Of the 87 total spaces, 95% will be compact. Zoning regulations 415-22A1, only up to 30% of the allowed for compact spaces. It is a pre-existing condition. This is how it is now. It's been non-conforming even when it was the dance studio and everything else. Comment number 4, the ZBA 415-22A1 requires a backup area of no less than 23 feet. Only the 3 of the existing spaces in front of the building have 23 feet as required backup space, leaving 39 spaces that do not. The proposed previous spaces would also not have the required backup spaces. Now it'd be the ones up on VFW Drive. Comment number 5, in addition to the nonconformities noted in comments 3 and 4, we note that the site currently does not fully comply with the following sections of the ZBL. A, section 415-22A2E, which requires that all industrial districts which abut any residential district, all parking areas, loading areas, and areas with use, access, egress, or on-site circulation shall be set back a minimum of 30 feet from any property line, and the 30-foot setback shall remain unaltered in the state of natural vegetation. However, this is an existing nonconformance, and the site does not show any increase in the nonconformity. And B, section 415-33D, which specifies a maximum driveway width of 24 feet. The existing driveway entrance is about 30 feet wide. Again, this is an existing nonconformance, and the site plan does not show any increase in the nonconformity. Well, I think of it, how much is the entrance going to be? I don't see it listed. I know you're making it smaller, but I do not see a measurement.
Can I get back to you with that answer in 2 seconds?
Yep, I'll continue. And comment number 6, their proposed exterior lighting shown on the site plan and the electrical site plan sheet E1. The photometric plan should be provided to verify there is no light overspilling onto adjacent properties, and that the lighting will be in compliance with the rules and regulation. Section I4B10, including the proposed kind, direct, intensity, and time of proposed lighting. Also, the proposed lighting pole located near the proposed pervious parking needs to be coordinated with the site plan and the electrical site plan.
There we go. I have to unshare my screen to do this.
Yep.
Can I ask you a quick question while we're killing time here?
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought of it earlier and I forgot to mention I was talking. Where there was a liquor license to this on the racquetball side of the property, is that liquor license going to be in use, or is this just a brewer farmer license?
It is just a farmer brewer's license. We're not utilizing, nor do we have interest in the liquor license that was existing for the upstairs mezzanine area.
Okay, probably that. Thank you.
That entrance is 52 feet.
The driveway entrance is 52 feet.
Yep.
If you're reducing it, how wide was it originally then?
Hold on one sec.
Because according to past comments, it was 30 feet wide.
Yeah, that's not right. Is the other. I have it at 69 feet. And you can see that these spaces here are 20 feet long, and it's easily that 60 feet. It's definitely not 30 feet.
Okay. So you're reducing it roughly from 69 feet down to 52.
50. Yep.
All right, we have conditions and everything about the brewery using their outdoor deck and everything. On your Patriots Athletic Club, you have a 10-foot overhead door. You don't show a deck on your layout plan, but on the site plan, there's a deck back there. Any chance of using it?
No, that's more of an access egress. It's not a deck that you would use for any portion of either one of those, except for access and egress.
Okay, because on your site, on your floor plan, you show the egress traveling across the batting cages, the door on the opposite side of the building.
To the front of the building?
You show a door on your right-hand side on the east side of the building that you have a 90-foot exit access to.
Yeah, so it would be used for.
And you take it right from the 10-foot overhead door.
Yeah, so it's right here on the, can you see my screen still?
Yeah.
So you're talking about right here, correct?
On the Patriot and the batting cage is there.
Yep. So yeah, it's used for access and egress.
So the overhead door is basically going to stay closed all the time.
The overhead door will be
And the
open.
batting cage area right next to your access and egress. Going on.
The overhead door will be open partially to allow air circulation. This was discussed at the zoning board. At the zoning board, it was agreed that it could be or would be only halfway open, as far as not to have it fully open.
I did not see that in the minutes.
Of the zoning board?
Correct.
Hi, this is Joe Palucci with Patriots Athletic Club. Just about that garage door there. So it will be open, particularly in the summertime, just to, as Darren said, for ventilation, and it gets pretty stuffy in there. So it will be open, but probably just partially. I think some of the concern during the zoning board was from the neighbors was because of the sound. I was back there the other day, and it really wasn't. It wasn't too bad in terms of sound. I was all the way to the fence, and I couldn't really hear anything. So, but it will be open about halfway.
Okay, you're not
If it
really
ever
hearing any
becomes a
sound
problem.
because it's not an occupied building.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
I said, you're not really hearing any sound because it's not an occupied building at this time if you're still working on it.
That's right.
I don't know how noisy.
Right, so I was referring to somebody had a radio on in there, so I was referring to the noise from the music, and you couldn't hear it from the fence area, so that's all.
Okay. On your electrical plan on sheet E1,
Ooh, do I have that one?
do you have that on so you can screen share with us?
Yep, give me a sec. Actually, this is an older one. I don't have the current one. The current one has no transformer here. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it because we never got it. That's why I'm asking you for it.
Okay. I could send that to you.
You propose 6 lights on the building. Can you actually show us on the building where they're gonna get? Because you're adding the more lighting to the building to light up your parking lot and perimeter, I assume, right?
Yeah, so we did do a photoelectric plan, which I did email over. So the lights would be one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. I think this is a light, and then there's wall lights, wall light, wall light, wall light. Another wall light, and a wall light. Does this help you?
Yeah, it'd be really helpful if I had a hard copy that was full size.
I can't give that to you right now, but I'll be glad to send something tomorrow, first thing.
Okay, entrance turning into your into the place. Granite curbs,
No,
foot wide entrance.
there are no granite curbs. Oops, hold on. Yeah, I don't have them as granite curbs.
What do you propose putting there?
It's existing, so we weren't proposing any changes there. Except for where we were reducing it, we're just removing the asphalt and cutting it.
I'm gonna. Does anybody on the board have any more questions? At this time? All right, hearing none. Does anybody in the audience have any questions?
Yes, I do. Yeah, hello,
Okay, cool.
you got me?
Leo? I don't see.
I'm here.
Huh?
I'm here. That's not me asking questions though.
Mike,
Mike
Mike,
Romberg. Right here.
I see you now. Yep, I gotta scroll through. Just for the record, your name and address again?
Mike Romberg, 373 Forest Street.
Yep.
For the record, we just want to say us neighbors behind us generally are okay with the both setups. You know, we're just trying to protect our interest with our houses over here. So we don't lose value and have to listen to lots of noise and have lots of lights shining at us. So I do have a couple of questions though. The parking lot lighting, at what height will they be in the rear of the property? In fact, even in the front of the property, there was lights before that were higher than the building, and they did shine right into our houses and our backyards. I'm just curious what the elevation is on the parking lot lighting and the building lighting.
Darren, anybody can answer that?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm trying to get that off of here.
Like I say at the zoning meeting, I think there was some talk about having them real low to the ground, 6-8 feet or something like that, just to shine onto the parking lot for safety purposes.
I don't see the pole height on these, just the light height. Actually, maybe it's down here. Hold on. I don't know. The photometric plan that we provided, though, that was done with this light that was shown, does show no light trespass at the property line
I
or
believe
beyond the
that
property line.
the height was on the bottom there.
At 25 feet and at 20 feet.
Yeah, that's the way I read it, but I could be wrong.
You are correct.
All right, that brings me, sorry, Mike, I have a question. You show, you have your elevation prints. What is the height of the existing building? Just for a reference on how high the light is gonna be on the backside of the building. Because you show a light on your back elevation right over the door. But that's not 20 feet off the ground.
I don't know the building height off the top of my head. I can get it, but it would take me a few minutes.
All right, Mike, do you have any more questions while he looks for it?
Yes, just to comment on that further, you know, I've seen streetlights and stuff with halfway wrapped around, you know, with the you know, a shield of some sort so that it will, you know, not face towards the neighbors' houses at all. Even though there's no light shining on our property, we sit on our back decks and everything else or whatever. to see a pile of lights out there. If they can shield them from us somehow in their plan, that would be excellent, you know?
I think if you look at the photometric plan that they were showing, it doesn't show much light spill off the property, off the site. But I would agree that, you know, we need to be cognizant of the neighbors. But looking at that photometric plan, if that's correct, it doesn't show a lot of light spill off of the property or off of the site.
So there'd be no spotlights or anything showing off the building towards the rear of the property as well? Nothing that we're gonna, I mean, clearly we're gonna see the lights, but it might not shine up our backyards, but we're gonna see them all lit up out back, right?
That's
I don't understand the graph that you had there for, you know, the lighting graph that you had, but.
I can explain that in 1 second.
I'd just like to comment on that from Mike, just so he understands the part of our plan, especially with the beer garden area in the back of the brewery, is to maintain sort of a lower light ambiance. So at night, you know, we have no intention on our side of the building at all of having any type of spotlights or anything. They're going to be, you know, incredible amounts of light put into the back area.
Good, okay, thank you.
Well, the lights on the side of the building should be lighting the building, correct? Not the lot?
That's correct.
The lights on the side of the building, they face downward. The light just shines downward in the lens. Are they kind of like the lighting that would be on the pole, just facing downward?
Correct. That's what was shown in the detail or the light fixture detail there. I can show it to you in 1 second.
Because you show there's a picture of the RSX one LED, but there's not a picture of your WPX2. Unless that's the other one down below, but I would assume that's a specification for the light bulb.
You're correct. The wall mount is not shown on here. I under the understanding it's the same type of fixture as what was shown here, and there will be no light that's shining upwards. It's all downward lighting. The height of the building is 18.6 feet.
Say that again. The height of the building is what?
Is like 18.6 feet. I just checked the left front corner.
So the height of the building is roughly 20 feet tall. So you're not mounting the lights at 20 feet.
No. I'm not sure where this came from. I'll have to double check with the lighting manufacturer.
Because if the lights are going to be closer to the ground, then you probably can reduce the size of the wattage. Especially in the back of the building where it's going to bother the neighbors.
Okay, we'll adjust that.
I have another question now that I'm looking at the prints. What's to stop people in the back of the building from parking out near their outdoor deck from going onto the gravel area? I haven't been behind the building. I don't know what it looks like back there.
The spaces will be marked as far as for parking. If there is no fence out back there to really prohibit anybody from driving back there, it could be there could be one installed. Or we could propose one.
May I interject on that for a moment? John Tassinari. The area right now really isn't set up to park at all, and I think for the fire department standpoint, they'd want access to the back of that building, so I think if that was something that eventually did become an issue, we could certainly come up with a plan to rectify it, but mostly their whole business is going to be in front of the building. I don't really foresee other than employee parking off to the back in the designated area. Everything's going to be in the front. There's no reason that people are going to want to walk around the building if they don't have to, so.
A comment on that, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So the only concern I have with that, I think a fence or maybe just a chain going across so cars can't go back there, so it won't cost so much. Is I see down the street, they have property, they have storage containers and, other storage things in there. So, would be unsightly for us to walk, to look at. So I don't know if they plan on, if there's something you can put in the conditions so they can't park any of these big blue containers in there, or boats or construction equipment or something like that,
We don't have any initial plan to store anything or stock anything there, but I think we should have free right use of our own property to use that's not disturbing to people. You get to a certain point where you put so many conditions on it that it's to the point where it's not even worth it.
No, it's an eyesore for the neighbors, that's for sure. If that was, if you plan on doing that, it would be an eyesore for the neighbors to listen to construction vehicles, maybe starting in the morning, or, seeing some storage containers, right up against the fence, kind of like they are up the street and stuff like that. So they're up over the fence so you can see them, and it doesn't do much for our property values,
I can assure you that's not our plan, but at the same time, we're very cautious of what we do in the neighborhood, and we really don't have any complaints to speak of from anybody. And we're the type of people, you have a problem, you address it with, which we've spoken to you already about. You can come to speak to us anytime, but it's industrial one property, and unfortunately you live in the backyard of an industrial building, sir. But we're cautious of what's going on there. We take pride in our property, and I guess we have to have an equal medium.
So it would be good if we could invite you to our property so you can see our view of your property and see how it might affect our property values and our quality of life.
I just have a question too. The fence that you, that the zoning required that you put in the back, how tall is that fence? Is it a 6 or 8 foot fence?
We covered this in the last meeting. There's an existing stockade wooden fence, and basically the fancier is going to come out and inspect the fence and see if it's suitable at the point when he comes out. But there was talk from the zoning board about whether or not the fence was supposed to be any higher or whatnot, but being what it is, it wasn't deemed necessary to change the height of the fence. It did what it was supposed to do.
Can I comment on that, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I don't know if that's exactly how it went. The six abutters sent a letter to the zoning board asking for an 8-foot high fence. I have some foliage behind my house, some of it's hidden, but I have some neighbors that they're up higher than the property itself. So they're looking down into the parking lot. They're looking down into the, they won't see anybody, but they'll be down into the outside patio area for the brewery. I think I tried to notify the neighbors that there's a meeting tonight. We didn't even know. I didn't see it advertised. I usually look, but I didn't see it advertised. So some of the neighbors that had some concerns about that aren't on tonight. But there was nothing at the zoning meeting that said, well, it's okay with the 6-foot high fence. We discussed an 8, the zoning, the fence viewer mentioned you don't need a permit if you go 7 or under. So there was discussion on that. And then the zoning board said, I think I'll throw the egg on the planning board's lap about the fence. We'll have the fence inspector check it out, but generally, I think he's throwing it on your lap to see what the requirement for a fence is. We wanted an 8. You know, I'll let the other neighbors speak to that, but yeah, it wasn't etched in stone that it was okay just to have the 6. I'll leave it at that. You know?
Yeah, Mike, actually, I think there's pretty explicit notes in the orders of conditions from the zoning board that just specifically says what they wanted. So I don't mind making the fence nice and fixing it, but you know, that was discussed that the fence that was existing would be viewed by the fence viewer. It's right in the order of conditions.
Okay, I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I'm like,
Rear garden, 6-foot vinyl fence around the exterior. That's all I see about fence. The right of way shall have a fence across. It can be a gated fence.
yeah, that's on the plan. That's,
We're not trying to make it difficult for anybody. We're just trying to protect our own interests back here, you know?
I can understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, we've done nothing but truly improve the situation there. I mean, we've really, really done our due diligence to go out of our way to speak with you and your neighbors and everybody and inform them what's taking place. I can assure you that we're not going anywhere. We own property on 4 sides here. We
Sure.
really,
So I mean, you have our letter and you have our concerns about the lighting, the fence, the noise, if potential partying out back, and that seems to be semi-addressed, but you know, you did invite us in to take the tour, but I'm not really seeing a lot of feedback as far as the fence goes. You know, the fence down the street, John, is in disarray. There's two sections missing. You can drive by, every time you drive down the street, you look in and you see the back of your property there with trailers and trucks and wood piles and everything else.
that's not my property. That belongs to Mr. McKinnon, and he's being addressed currently by the building department. So I can't speak to that. That's not.
Forgive me
that
for
is
that.
not-
I thought it was yours, so forgive me for that.
Okay.
But it, you know, well, I'll just say it, and it would be good to work with you to address the fence a little bit. The 6-foot clearly doesn't seem to be adequate for my neighbors. And of course, Mr. Anderson next door, he just asked for a 5-foot fence. He just wants to stop headlights from going onto his property. We're not trying to break the bank. We're just trying to protect ourselves over here. And I would think it would be in your best interest because, if we don't have noise and we don't have lights and we don't see what's going on over there, it's true. Big fences make, good fences make good neighbors sometimes. So.
and I don't see anything in the ZBA's conditions, but the building inspector is the fence viewer. He has the final say on that. Like I said, I don't know what it looks like out back. I don't know how much overgrown it is. I'm sure he's cleaning up the site all around because I know he's cleaned up the front.
Why?
Excuse me?
That wasn't me.
Does anybody else have any comments? Board?
I do. Bill O'Brien, 389 Forest Street.
Okay.
The right side of the building, is that going to be a loop around to the back and front, or is that going to be closed off?
There'll be no traffic coming in through the right side of the building here.
Okay, the only reason I ask is because on one of the plans, I saw in the middle of the back lot, something was written in the dirt saying slow. I don't know if that was to slow down before you get to the other end of the building or what, but And
Yeah,
isn't there a buffer between the building and the wetland? So there can't be any driving around or?
a car couldn't fit over in this area. There is a walkway going to the door here, but not sufficient room to get a car through there, nor would one think to drive through there if.
Well, the only reason I ask is because a couple nights ago, a truck came around that far right corner, past that door, and sat on the corner with its headlights in my backyard. Did it bother me? Not enough to make me do anything about it, but it was coming over the fence, and that's where we're getting back at the higher fence, so we don't see whatever he's looking at or whatever he's doing, you know? And in this day and age, if you're not talking to me about putting lights in my backyard, there's gonna be a problem. Especially if you're sitting there with your headlights on my house. Do I want to call the cops? I don't want any trouble. I don't want any of that, you know? So, like Mike said, a good fence is good neighbors, you know? And then the barn out back, is that gonna be kept or you guys getting rid of it?
There's no proposed demolition of that at this time.
Okay. And the back lot, I know it, you guys own it, it's your building, you do what you want. I'm just wondering, you guys gonna be putting storage back there? And again, it's getting back to the fence because right now, if you put something back there, I can clearly see it. It's more like the property line goes like down and then back up and then down again. And I'm on the higher side. If anybody has any trouble understanding me, I can repeat anything.
I'm not aware of any proposed uses back in that gravel area.
Well, it's all dirt right now. I mean, I don't know what I could do or say to make people not do what they want to do, but I mean, I just don't want to be looking at more than I'm already looking at.
Chairman,
Good.
is the pool that was there at one point, has that been removed?
Yes.
Okay,
The pool has been removed, yes.
okay.
And Darren, you're removing the 2 dumpsters in the back and proposing to put up closer to that existing building?
Yes, and they'll be enclosed as well.
Okay.
Darren, to the right of the patio, the outdoor patio of the brewery, is there parking out there beyond that?
No proposed parking out there.
Right, is
Can you hear me,
yeah,
Mr. Corbett?
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, George Anderson. I live on that side. Hey, I wonder if you could go up to the northwest corner of the property up there where that right of way goes through. I'm the person that lives there on that property next to it. Can you go down just a little bit? I want to see what the parking is there. How many you got? 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. The only thing I was looking for was maybe a 30-foot long, 4-foot high fence just to go along my property line, because if there's parking spaces there, I sit out in that backyard at night and I don't know. It's just something that's simple, easy, and it would keep the headlights out of my face. I don't know if that's a big deal or not.
On the set of prints I have, it has a proposed 32 3 feet of fence. It has a gate, has gates on the access for the right of way on the north side, and then he has
Yeah, that's,
2 feet coming down south towards VFW Drive.
Mr. Chairman, are they on the agenda tonight for site plan and
Design, yes.
design? I think at this point, I mean, I'm in favor of the project, but in regards to site plan, I think there's a few unanswered questions that we need to get answered.
I don't
That's my
understand
concern.
that. I'm a little miffed on that. That doesn't even look right. I don't know. That's crazy, but whatever. I don't know.
You want to make a motion, Charlie, to continue them? Does
I mean-
anyone else have any concerns?
Like I said, based on Pat's comments and some of the other issues that we have questions to, I think it would be prudent to continue at least the site plan until we get the answers to those questions. The fence, the lighting, I mean, I'm looking at the photometric. The photometric doesn't look like it's going to be a problem for the neighbors, and
I didn't put a towel in the bathroom.
so I'm okay with that.
That one down low, I didn't. That's an old
Height,
one.
building height and the pole height.
Upstairs I took out, so you'll have to put a new one.
So
Okay.
I think at this point, until we get those questions answered, I don't see how we can't continue it, and I don't want to do that. I know that these guys have been working hard to get this going, and I want to see this get going, but
That's what the questions are, we'll answer them.
I would say continue the site plan and move on to design review.
Lieutenant Williams, can you, I'm just not sure what questions that we're referring to. Could you just remind me of the questions that need to be answered?
There was questions about the heights of the lighting.
24 feet.
So 25 feet, is that the case? Do we know that for sure? You said the lights on the buildings are 20 feet, but the building's only 18.8. So
All down lighting.
and there was some questions and concerns that, that Pat Brennan expressed about parking and sizes of parking spaces and whatnot.
We can actually accept it as it is, since it's non-conforming. As it sits now, it's been non-conforming for years.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so.
Like I said, I'm in favor of the project. I wanted to move forward. I just want to make sure that we're getting the questions that aren't answered.
All right, so. All right, we have a motion to continue them to.
Now, if the board feels, if the board feels that we have enough information to move forward with the site plan, then I'll withdraw my motion, but.
Randy, how do you feel?
Just tell them we've done everything according to the regulations, and then if it's not, we corrected it and they'll.
Sorry, I'm trying to get it off the mute. Yeah, I mean, like you said, if it's a pre-existing, the concern is of what Pat's concerns are, if it's whether it's a safety issue or not, that's one thing. If it's not, I'm fine. I think it's a fantastic setup. For both young and old. And I'm good.
All right, James?
Yeah, everything seemed all right, because the fence we talked about, there is a proposed fence in the back there. We just saw that there, and they said the lights weren't spotlights, they were facing down, so if that's the case, that seemed to be the two big issues by the neighbors. fence in the back and the lighting, so seems all right by my end.
Anyway. I'm leaning towards Charlie. Charlie's recommendation of put him on the agenda for next month for site. So we can get some full-size plans that are missing. We have the plans, the cover sheet, existing conditions in the site plan. We don't have sheet E1 that Pat made comments on. Could use a full set of plans for floor layout, lighting, elevation. And I don't know if Highway has any comments, but I know Highway before was requiring granite curbings to be put in on streets when things were being done. I can't find the email.
Mr. Chairman, is there any chance that we can get a conditional vote on this? You know, we've been continued multiple times with zoning, and we've been making every effort to comply with every request that they've made, you know, multiple changes to site plans, moving things in compliance.
The conditions that you had with zoning,
Yes,
I
sir.
can't do anything about.
Yes, sir.
When you send, I don't even have, you sent it on electronically, a landscape plan. We asked for things in a timely manner, 2 weeks before the meeting. We got it today. When did we get the lighting plan? This is what I have. That's not regulation size. We're trying to work with you. Just because you got tied up with zoning, I don't know what the issues were. But if you had to have certain things for zoning, why didn't you have all the other plans made up? I feel for you. I want this to go forward. I think it's a great thing for the town. But when you start submitting things at the last minute, why should you be treated any different than everybody else?
I'm not asking for special treatment, sir. I
You're
wanna
putting us
clarify.
in a bad spot. That's how I look at it. Yeah, I want it to go forward. It's gonna be a drastic improvement for the town. It'll be a great thing. We're gonna keep the neighbors happy, but you have to submit things in line with everybody else. So I'm gonna second Charlie's motion to continue the site plan. We'll go on with design review. So we're gonna take a vote on site plan. James, vote how you feel.
I'll vote for continue.
Randy,
There are some of those answers. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that just due to the unanswered portions. In the timely fashion.
I'm sorry, did you?
how do you feel, Charlie? Continue or not?
I think we need to continue until we have those answers.
Okay, Mike, I vote to continue 406 VFW Parkway, VFW Drive. Until, we're gonna try to put you on for our next meeting.
June 22nd.
Thank you. We need any information 2 weeks in advance? Need hard copies? You can send them over electronically. We need the hard copies 2 weeks in advance. That way everybody can review it. All right, we'll continue on with our site plan for 406.
Mike, can I ask a question about before we get to the site plan? So did you hear back from zoning on, have they met all of the zoning requirements that the zoning set forth for them?
They have gone through zoning. They have a list of conditions. Both places have gone through zoning and have a list of conditions, what they have to do.
We don't know if those conditions have been met as of yet?
Nothing's really been met because nothing's been officially approved.
Okay.
Zoning has approved it and granted them their stuff. They have their conditions, but they need our site plan.
Okay.
Anybody have anything to do, any comments on the design review? Everybody knows what the building looks like. You guys are not proposing any exterior changes?
No exterior changes to the building that I'm aware of.
James, do you have any questions or comments?
Nope.
Do we have any elevations, drawings, nothing for design?
Just the small elevation that they sent over. It's an existing building. Everybody's familiar with it. They don't really propose any outside changes.
Signage,
Excuse me?
any kind of signage, signs? Saying what the place is gonna be.
Signs would go through the building inspector, but there is no signage on my drawing.
We have not prepared any proposed signage drawings.
I didn't know if there's anything on the building.
Yeah, I've no proposed signage drawings to.
Base. Just put. I will, Jim.
There's two existing signs that have been there that were from the Kathy Corrigan, but there hasn't been any current changes to it. It's just going to be a reface of the existing signs.
Is there a plan to paint, or are we keeping the same color scheme? Are we doing anything with that?
Right now, there's no plans to change the exterior of the building, to my knowledge.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any questions from the audience?
I'm sorry. Hi, Mike Romberg again. I don't know if this is related to what you guys are talking about now. Mr. Chairman, if I could talk to the athletic, Joe, I forget your last name, regarding the garage door. Can I ask, were you guys hitting balls Sunday afternoon in there?
Yeah, so some of the netting has been put up. So the installers were testing it out, so there were some bats being swung.
So they weren't allowed from my house?
Yes, I should say.
Sorry. So they weren't allowed from my house, and if there was just one bat cracking a ball for a few hours in the afternoon, it's not loud, but it's kind of can drive you cuckoo. If there's 6 bats smashing balls all day long with the garage door open, I know you wanted it open for COVID. I know after May 29th, I don't know if that's necessary. I know you want some fresh air in there, but I don't know if you said you'd work with us at zoning. If the people right behind you with that garage door open is 80 feet away from you. And I know they mentioned at the zoning meeting, they don't want to see anything. They don't want to hear anything. So not trying to make it difficult again, but they're not here tonight. So I just wanted to let you know, I could hear it from my house. And you have hours here from, you have summer hours from 9 to 5. Winter hours, you have 9 to 9. You don't have any spring and fall hours. And, you know, I was hoping they should be put on the conditions in somewhere. But if it's 9 o'clock at night and you're hearing backs cracking, you know, can I ask if they were using aluminum or wooden bats?
Go ahead. I don't know what kind of bat they were using, to be honest with you. I don't know, Mike. I don't know exactly what you want to hear from me. I mean, I did say in the last meeting that if it became a problem for the neighbors, they could address it with me, and I would close that door. But I mean, it's not going to be completely silent back there. I mean,
No, I know it. It's a big door, you know. Maybe you can put a buffer and open the door halfway and put a buffer in front of that somewhere where you get your circulation and kill some noise at the same time. But yeah, you know, if you work with us, Joe, on that, you know, that's fine too. You know.
no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I have a question on the elevation drawing too.
The elevation drawing back up.
Elevation drawing. I don't have an elevation drawing. Are you looking at, what drawing are you looking at?
I'm looking at your elevation drawing that you sent over on, I don't know, 10 by 17.
I do not have that.
This that's drawn by freehand.
I don't.
You have your right side elevation, and you have the stairs leading down to VFW Drive. But you have metal siding on the building, and then you say reverse the stairs. Are you moving the stairs? And reversing them to face the back? Or towards north?
I wish I could help you. I do not have that. John, do you know what he's talking about? John Tassinari?
I'm sorry. I'm not quite sure if I know what plan he's referring to. If I can answer the question though, if we have a focused question.
Yeah, John, Mike Corbett.
Hello, sir.
Chairman of the board. On your right side elevation drawing that somebody drew up here, you have existing stairs leading from the first floor heading towards VFW's Drive, coming out of would be your athletic club. And then
Oh, yes.
it says you're reversing the stairs. Are you reversing the stairs?
No, they're removing the stairs. They've been removed. That when you asked a question, somebody asked a question earlier about whether or not there was access from the Patriots up athletic side up to the mezzanine area. That's been removed. Maybe it's a typo, but if
This is exterior.
well, then the exterior, there's a mezzanine that has an egress that's a deck that goes down, so it comes off a platform and goes straight down to the back. And that's just the back, and that's a single lock door. And then the platform is just basically the width of whatever was legal to be able to have to walk out the door, and it's a platform and then goes down. It won't be used by anybody. It's truly just a means of egress in the event that, you had to leave the building.
It says on here that it's reversing the stairs. You're not altering the stairs, correct?
No, it's existing and it's not changing at all. So I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the document, but no, nothing's changing. The existing setup is exactly the way it is. Nothing's changing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry for the confusion.
Do we have any other comments from the board? All right. Do we have any other comments from the public on the site? I mean, design review. All right, how does the board feel on design review? No comments? Can we get a motion? Nothing, huh?
A motion to design review.
I would have a motion to accept. Do we have a second on that?
I have a second.
All right, we have a first and a second on the design review. We'll go through it again. Randy,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Charlie.
Yep.
All right, I'm Michael. I say yes on the design review. All right, you guys have a little homework to do.
Okay.
Print up some plans, send over electronic copies, but we need hard copies 2 weeks in advance. Be nice to show an elevation plan with the height of your lighting on the exterior of the building. If your building's only 18 feet tall, you can't have 20-foot lights mounted like it says on your electrical plan. Wouldn't be good for the neighbors. Need full-size plans for the floor plans, landscape. Everything else that was questioned. You might want to check with highway to make sure you do not need granite curbing. I can't find the email. I know we have something that highway wants granite curbings. I know we require them at the entrances of the business on the town side. That way it just makes it a little easier for plowing. People actually know where the radius and access is. Like I said, check with highway because you might have to put it on the town side of the road too. We're trying to get Form Ks back from water, police. I don't expect there to be any issues, but they have not replied. Do you guys have any questions for us?
I have no questions, sir.
I have no questions.
All right, then we will. All right. We will see you on the 22nd of June. Make sure everything is town hall and is stamped by the clerk and the planning board by June 8th.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, I'll try to get John Lucas to join us so we can finish the administration portion of this.
I told him.
You already told him?
Mhm.
Are you gonna let him back on?
He can come in. He should have no problem. I didn't remove him, so he should be good.
He got to listen, right? I mean, he couldn't vote, but he could listen.
I don't think he did either.
He's got to know what's going on.
You don't want to put yourself in that position
Yeah, true.
for a non-paying job.
Here he is.
Has he joined?
He's on there, yeah.
There he is.
Hi there.
All right, I see you now. I was scrolling through. I'm like, where is he?
It took me a while to get from the living room back here.
All right. We have some administration to take care of. We have minutes from the April 27th meeting. I'm sure everybody's reviewed that short stack of papers.
The encyclopedia was well done. Motion to approve.
And we have a motion.
Second.
A second.
It's very well written.
That's a motion. I'll take it. All right. Charlie,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Okay, that's a motion to approve. One of the favorite parts of the night. We have to.
This is Randy's favorite.
Motion to pay the second.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, let's go through it again. Randy,
Yes.
Charlie, James,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Michael, I vote yes. Okay, we have upcoming activity. We have 406 back on for next month. Dyer Street on next month.
365 Concord.
365 Concord. I knew it was one or the other. And we have 365 Concord coming before us. That'll take some time, I am sure. Let's see what they come back with. See if they've done all their homework. Right, we haven't heard back from them.
No.
Okay. So if we don't hear back from them within a couple weeks, or a week or so, we'll have to send out another email. That's all I have. Do you have anything, John? Do you?
No, I don't.
I got. The other day they sent out that email, Chrissy, for the 40B training.
Mm-hmm.
Who's paying for that?
That was from Jen, right?
Yeah, that was from Jen. Is the town picking up that tab?
That I'm not sure of, but I can find out.
Is it a Zoom in person? Like, she had no information.
Yeah, I didn't delve into it myself. I just passed it along to share with you guys. But I can find out whatever you want to know. I can inquire.
Yes. See if the town's picking up the tab. Where it is, in person, Zoom, and she probably should notify the ZBA, since that's where 40B goes. It would, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't remember the day, but it might be something useful to know more about, but it should be sent to the zoning board. Because they're the ones going through the whole process.
Okay.
Charlie, Randy, or James, do you guys have anything?
I do not.
Nope.
All right. Seeing none, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Oh, Mike,
What?
sorry. So the date of that 40B training is June 14th at 6 p.m. I don't know anything else. Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on. It says register for this workshop.
I didn't know if she sent anything else. I'm like, all right, yeah, great. I said it might be informative. Doesn't come before us, but it wouldn't hurt.
It was just that, but I don't want to hold you up, so go ahead. I'll find out and let you know.
Okay. All right, so can we get a motion to adjourn?
I'll move, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion, first and a second to adjourn. We'll go through it again. John,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
and Michael, I say yes. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thanks to the public. And we will see you next month, maybe live and in person.
Actually, you might be right.
Yeah,
We'll get that confirmed.
see if we can get clarification on that from Doug.
Yes.
I was talking to him yesterday. He indicated that we could have it in the downstairs room next month.
I know they're lifting all the restrictions, but you're also opening up a free-for-all everywhere, you know what I mean? How many people do we have on for a Zoom meeting? Is it gonna be big enough?
Standing room only.
You know what I mean? I'd rather do it in person, but see if we can get a clarification from Doug on that.
I'll talk to him Thursday, Mike.
Yeah, you know what I mean? If it's there or if they have to hold it somewhere else, because are you gonna fit that many people in the room? I know it's a free-for-all.
He did indicate he'd get us another room if necessary.
Okay. You know, we probably should finalize that. Not that we know how many people are gonna show up, but it could be a full house. All right, gentlemen. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, gang. You
Finish
enjoy
watching
your-
this